Today, I'm going to talk about what's happening in the Houston real estate market, give you a little bit of data and numbers, and then let you know what that means for you if you're thinking about buying or selling in the last few months of 2021 or sometime in 2022. So, HAR, the Houston Association of Realtors, just came out with their monthly press release. They break down the numbers for the market for the previous month and give you a bunch of data. So that's what we're going to go over today. In July, we saw a slight decline in the sales numbers and an interruption of the 13-month positive run of sales here in Houston. In August, however, we saw increased sales volume in homes as well as an improvement in the inventory levels and then some moderation in price appreciation. So according to the August 2021 report, single-family home sales rose 8.5% versus last August. We had 9,890 homes sell this year, as compared to the 9,118 that sold in August 2020. On a year-to-date basis, local home sales are up 17.4% ahead of 2020's record pace. We will likely continue to see record sales as we continue to move through this year because interest rates are still in the 3% to sub 3% range. Sales of all property types rose 9.2% on a year-over-year basis, totaling 12,036 sales. So when we look at how much people are paying, I want to go back to June. So in June, the closed to original list price ratio for single family homes was at the highest ever at 100.3%. So that means that the majority of buyers paid above list price for homes on the market. In July, it dropped slightly to 100.2%, and then in August, it was down to 99.6%. While this is promising for buyers, what we've seen a lot of in the market are sellers are getting really eager to price their homes, and they price them above the most recent sales in the neighborhood. So do I think that the market is softening? Probably not. I think it's probably a little bit of people being a little bit too eager to make more money and not accurately pricing their home from the start. So good news that buyers are paying a little bit less than list price, but it may not be because of the market. So let's switch gears real quick and talk about inventory. Total active listings, or the total number of available properties, fell 14.4% compared to the same time last year. Single-family home inventory reached a 1.9-month supply in August. While that is still down from the 2.6 months that we had at this time last year, it's also the highest amount of supply that we've seen at all in 2021, and a 10.9% increase in new listings for the month. So according to the latest report by the National Association of Realtors, housing inventory nationally stands at 2.6 months supply, so we're still slightly below those national averages. One thing that I also like to take a look at, in addition to the inventory on a year-over-year basis, is the inventory as we compare it from 2021 to 2019. Since 2020 was a crazy busy year in real estate here in Houston and inventory started to significantly decrease on the second half of 2020, I think that it's prudent to look at 2019 and previous years to see what we have as far as inventory goes for like a normal market. So right now we're sitting at 18,270 active listings on the market, which is 24.84% down from 2020 when we had 24,309 active listings, but it's 45% fewer listings than 2019 because we had 33,733 active listings in 2019. So this time of year, we normally see between 30 to 33,000 listings, and we're sitting at around 18,000. All right, so the time that it took to sell a home was nearly cut in half versus August 2020. Days on market went from 51 in 2020 to 26 this year in August 2021. So homes are selling faster. Finally, price appreciation. If we take a look at prices on a year-over-year basis, the single-family home average price increased 14% to $380,000, while the median price jumped up 15.2% to $310,000. Okay, so if you're looking to buy, there were a few more new listings this month as compared to months previous, but we are still in a seller's market. You need to be prepared to make an offer quickly once you find the home you like, as the time a home sits on the market is very short. I would also say that you should be prepared to make an offer that's close to list price or maybe probably over list price, especially if you're in a multiple offer situation. One question that we get a lot is how far over list price that you're gonna have to offer, whether that's a percentage or a dollar amount. And really, I hate to say it this way, but it is a case-by-case situation. We've had some buyers that have bought homes at or below list price, and we've had others that have to go over. One thing that we do take a look at if you're interested in making an offer on a property is the recent comparable sales of homes that are uniquely similar to the home that you want to purchase, right? We take a look at the market demand in that area, market conditions, competition, and things like that for the area and the neighborhood that you're looking in to determine an appropriate list price. That could be at, below, or above list price. If you're thinking about selling, home values have increased about 15% over the past year. But over the past 60 days, we've seen steadily increasing inventory throughout the entire Houston area that's bound to start slowing the overall rate of appreciation. As more options start to become available for home buyers, as a seller, you're going to need to be a little bit more aggressive in your pricing strategy to appeal to the most amount of qualified buyers. We work with a lot of sellers that are looking to trade up to a new home or maybe just move out of the Houston area or cash in on the equity that they've got in their home. One thing that I think is super important is to ensure that you are studying the data with your agent to ensure that you're pricing your home properly so that it doesn't sit on the market. Because we're still seeing price reductions and homes not selling. And even when that does happen, even in this seller's market. So we're really strong proponents of the market driving the sales price of the property up rather than starting high and reducing it to where then the property is attractive and competitive for buyers. So, a lot of info. If you've got questions on what's happening in your area or neighborhood, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to chat if you're thinking about buying or selling, or even if you're not thinking about buying or selling and you just want to know what's going on in your area. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you soon.